Hey everybody. So sorry it's taken me so long to upload a couple videos here. Been real busy with family stuff, so I'm hoping to get back on track and start putting things out there again at a more productive pace. Maybe get one or two videos out a week. This game I'm about to show now was a game I just did tonight versus my buddy Jeremy. It is going to be D-Brigade versus Machinedramon. We're both practicing for our locals coming up on Saturday, so we're going to see how this goes. Um, I was streaming, but I don't really have any followers yet on the stream, so I didn't really pay much attention to anything, and I realized after the fact that I was muted, so that's why I'm going to be doing a voiceover for this game here. Um, Hopefully, I don't mess anything up as far as our plays go. Um, it should be easy enough to follow. Generally, D-Brigade plays pretty straightforward, as does Machinedramon for the most part. So I'll do my best to just kind of walk us through there. If I remember correctly, I believe Jeremy went first on this go around. Um, yeah, so we did a coin flip and he won, and we decided to go first. I was using a battery as my memory marker because I could not find my dice, but I ended up finding it and moved it out. Granted, it would have been fitting versus Machinedramon with a battery memory marker, but so yeah, Jeremy started first. He hatched his egg. He's trying out a red-based Machinedramon, so we're going to see how that goes here. Playing his Hagurumon for 3. He pitches a Mega Dramon and draws 2 cards, passing me at 3. So I go ahead, hatch my egg, Black Pagumon, go into Commandramon, draw, just kind of thinking over what I'm doing. And I just play another Commandramon for 2, and a Pride Memory Boost, set him to 3. Pride Memory Boost lets me reveal the top 3, and I can play cost 4 less cards, so it ends up being a Chikurimon. The other 2 go to trash. 2 good cards got sent to trash, but no big deal. Good, good board presence already. So he goes ahead and he evolves up into Biomon. And at this point, he's just kind of figuring out what he wants to do here. From what I remember, he didn't have the best opening hand, so he goes ahead and plays Fireball, deletes my Chikurimon, and then he sets me to 1 and plays an Analog Youth. And he's going to take, looks like the Metal Greymon. Nope, takes the Black Tyrannomon. The other 2 go to trash. Or the Metal Tyrannomon, rather. So I'm going to promote the 1K Commandramon, and I'm going to attack with him. He hits an Iron Fisted Onslaught, which will actually, yep, kill that Commandramon because he's the highest play cost. So it ended up working perfectly. I wanted him to die, and he ate an Iron Fisted Onslaught, so it's great. I reveal the top 3, and I can play a Commandramon. So I play the blocker Commandramon, and the rest go to the bottom. And I attack with the 2-cost Commandramon, and he dies. So Commandramons are filling up the trash, and so far so good. Got a blocker on board. Pop the memory boost, go up 2, and I'll just play another Pride memory boost. So reveal top 3, and we'll play another blocker, and the other 2 go to trash. 2 good tamers in trash. My Pride memory boosts, they've been okay, but I've been putting a lot of good stuff in trash this game, so we'll see if that comes back to bite me or not. He'll go with Hagurumon, but he realizes I have blocker, so he ends up deciding against it. Honestly, he might have been better off just attacking into me because odds are I wasn't going to just throw away a Commandramon. He probably could have attacked twice, or at least once, got 1 more security off of me, and then slammed that down, but I could see why he did what he did. Did give me a lot of memory though, which isn't always the best idea versus D-Brigade, but granted, I'm not doing a whole lot of Digivolving either, so you do have a tendency to go through the hand. But at this point, he gave me more than enough memory to just hard play a Dexmon for 8. So it ended up working pretty perfectly there. Just so happened to be in my hand. And I was able to play it without passing turn, which was pretty huge. And he let me hatch my egg. I was so excited to slam down Dexmon, I forgot to hatch. But being that we're just practicing, he let me remember to go back and hatch. So I Digivolved into Machinedramon. And now Dexmon is sitting on field doing Dexmon things, playing the Izzy, revealing the top 3. There's nothing non-black in this deck, so I'm always going to get the memory on that play. So it's going to be just a 3-cost memory tamer, really, every time. I put them back in the order I wanted. I believe I did Hagurumon and then 2 Machinedramons, but wasn't really paying attention to that. Then I passed to him, and he's got his Machinedramon out. So at this point, he's got to play something of a lower play cost to kind of feed Dexmon, unless he has an answer for Dexmon. So we'll see what he does here. He evolves up into Biomon, draws another card. At this point, he was digging through his deck. He's looking for certain pieces. He wasn't really finding what he wanted to find this go around. So he swings, and he hits my other Dexmon. So he just dies. I mean, it's just one way to avoid Dexmon killing your guy, is to just kill your guy anyway. Or delete the guy, rather. I should say delete. I don't want to get flagged by YouTube. He ends up tapping Analog Youth to gain a memory and drawing a card. Or, yeah, to gain a memory, draw a card. He can't hatch because he's already got something there. At this point, we were talking about how cracked Mimi is and how nice it would be if Analog Youth promoted too, like Mimi did. He sends me all the way to 3. Oh, he just passes at that point. That's right. His hand was not great this game, so he was having a hard time getting his pieces. Now I promote Machinedramon. I attack with him. It's a nice little Greymon. So I'll activate Pagomon. It's a black Digimon. Goes to my hand. Come back. I'll attack with Dexmon. It's a Kazu, so that's good for him. It doesn't really help him because of what he has in raising, but not a whole lot in the Machinedramon deck. It's going to threaten a Dexmon going into security unless I were to hit an Iron Fist and Onslaught. So it's nice that he'll be around for at least one more turn. And then if he does want to get rid of him, he'll have to pass me a lot of memory to just hard play some sort of removal. Play a Hagurumon to pitch a Darkdramon and draw 2 cards. So I'm pretty much just setting up to finish the game at this point, barring some sort of miracle play. It's going to be pretty hard for him to get around this. And I'm kind of deciding how I want to kind of set it up in a way that isn't going to screw me. At this point, I was kind of playing around him having Dexmon as well. I don't know if he runs Dexmon in this deck. I forgot to ask him. But I figured I could either just send him to 3, but even with that, he'll still have enough to hard play a Dexmon. So I might as well just play something. Dexmon would pass the turn to me either way, and he would still be able to hard play it, and he wouldn't get rid of my Death Exmon immediately. So I didn't feel I had to respect Dexmon too much. And you'll see why when it comes around to my turn. So he's playing Ultimate Connection. And he's going up to 3 memory because of it. Using that 3 memory to play another Hagurumon. At this point, he's still digging. Looking for something that'll help him kind of live through next turn. A Machinedramon would do it. But I don't think he drew into his Machinedramon at all this game. He just ends up having to send me to 7. He comes down with another Machinedramon, takes out my two rookies there. So that was a pretty good play. I mean, it's probably the best he could do under the circumstances, but he loses his 2 rookies as well to Dexmon. I'll end up promoting. I unsuspend. So I swing in with Dexmon. It's just a Greymon. And at this point, I have more than enough in trash to play Darkdramon. I'll just put the 5, go all the way down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll end up going back up to 4. Yep, and that's game 1. So Darkdramon coming in clutch, finishing the game. It was lucky for me he couldn't find a lot of his pieces, because as you'll see in the next game, he actually finds his blockers, and it ends up making my life a living hell. So we'll get around to that game here in a second. This D-Brigade deck that I've been playing has been doing very good in testing. Probably going to do a deck profile on it sometime a little later in the week. Once I kind of iron out a few more kinks, I'm kind of playing with a couple ratios, so we're going to see how it lands after Saturday. And if it does well enough, I'll probably lay it out and do a little deck profile for it, because it's been pretty well performing so far. I was able to 2-0 or Digimon with it. I've 2-0'd Grandis with it. I've 2-0'd Metal Guru with it. It definitely has game into a lot of the decks. Now, matches like Gaiomon and Alphamon are a little harder because they have access to Retaliation Blocker or blockers, big blockers, respectively. So that one's a little more luck reliant. I need to have good opening hands. I need to establish pressure early, and they kind of need to be a little slower, but I still have positive win rates against both those decks. So right now it's just trying to find a way to shore up those matchups, because they can still kind of go the other way. At this point, he chose to go second, so I'll be starting here, hatching into Pagumon, and I'll be raising that into a Commandramon. Now playing another Commandramon, setting him to 2. So this is a pretty great start. I like passing on a turn 1 with the 2-cost Commandramon, choke him a little bit, and you get that Commandramon in raising. That when he's deleted, he can play another Commandramon off of a top 3 reveal. So he plays out Machinedramon. So this is where the game gets kind of interesting. Machinedramon, if you don't know what he does, he's a blocker, but if he deletes something when he blocks, he unsuspends. So essentially, you can have as many Commandramons as you want out on the board, and he'll just block them all and delete them all if you keep trying to attack. So it's gonna make it's definitely gonna make my life a bit of a living hell here for a little bit. I'm gonna promote Commandramon and attack with him just because I can. He'll get deleted, and I'll kind of mill the top of my deck, see kind of what's going on. First I activate Pagumon. It wasn't a black Digimon, so he'll go to the bottom. I'll reveal top 3, play the 5k Commandramon. The rest will kind of go to the bottom. I don't know if that was the right play or not. I could have just left him out and just kept building my board, but I kind of wanted to cycle through my deck a little bit, because at this point now I know Machinedramon's out, so I have to find something to get rid of him, because no amount of Commandramons in the world are gonna kind of save me there. Plus I knew I had another one of those in my hand, so I could play him out. So he's going to send me to 2 to play out a Kazu. I'm going to hatch another egg, go into a blocker Commandramon, draw. And at this point I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do about Machinedramon? So I'm going to attack with him again, just kind of see what's going on in my deck. He's going to block it. 2 and 3. And this time I didn't hit a Commandramon, so that was probably wasn't the best play. But I'm putting things to the bottom of the deck that aren't going to help me anyway. So in a way, it kind of is helping me. Now, granted, I don't know that that's going to happen. I very easily could have just put, a bunch of removal to the bottom of my deck. That would have helped me a lot. So at that point, I'm going to send him to 2 by playing 2 2-cost Commandramon. So building my board up. I'm not even worried about Dexmon at this point, obviously. So we had a little mix up on the memory, so that's why the memory gauge is moving around there, but we end up getting it corrected. So he's at 2 memory. Machinedramon is still being a pain. He raises up Biomon. So at this point, I don't know what I'm going to do. Really, all I can do is keep searching through my deck, try to find a way to remove that Machinedramon. But this is giving him time to kind of fill up his grave and find everything he needs to find. So he's going to play Hagurumon, trash the Metal Greymon. And then he's going to set me to 2 and play Greymon. So I'm going to draw a card. And I don't know if this is the turn where I found my answer, but I'm sitting at 2 memory currently. I'm just going to promote another Commandramon. At this point, Dexmon would cost 5. So I'm just going to play a Kazu, send him to 1. And hope he doesn't drop something that just ends me. Being that he's running red-based Machinedramon, he very easily could have Crimson Blaze, which would really stink at this moment. So hopefully he doesn't drop a Crimson Blaze on me. He's just thinking about what to do at this point. He's adequately set up his stuff enough, and he can start swinging at my security. He's got enough of a presence there. It's a Grumblemon. I only run 2 Grumblemons in this whole deck, and both of them actually ended up in security this game. He wanted to tap Kazu, but then he realized Greymon's not a cyborg or machine, so he plays Ultimate Connection. And he discards I believe that's another Metal Greymon. Gains 2 memory. And draws his card. He really could just swing out at this point. I mean, not with Machinedramon, obviously, because he can't attack. But Hagurumon's expendable at this point. Yep, and I do believe he decides to swing. There's no reason not to. I had a blocker, but I wasn't really keen on using him at this point, although I guess I could have, but I didn't feel like trading a blocker with a Hagurumon. Yep, he ends up playing, I believe it's March of the Heavy Metal Machines, or whatever it's called. It gives essentially his Machinedramon Russian Blitz, which is really nice. Passes me a bunch of memory, but he ends up putting 5 guys underneath, and I think I end up with only like 3 or 4 memory, so. And he deletes, I believe he deletes a couple of my guys, at least one of them. He's got the ability to attack and unsuspended. He's got piercing, and he's got plus 3k as well. So, because of the 1 Metal Greymon, yep, he brings me down to 4. And he's going to attack with the Machinedramon. So at this point, his board is definitely set up. I'm going to choose to block with the Commandramon, and then it's going to kill or delete one of my 2 costs. Pagumon ends up sending an Ultimate Flare to the bottom, which would have been really nice. And he ends up hitting a Commandramon because of the piercing. Now, I believe, yeah, what he was trying to do, he wanted to attack my 5K Commandramon, so that's why I blocked. Otherwise, there was no reason to block, really, because I knew he had piercing, but I didn't want the one Commandramon to die. So here I was actually able to top deck Dexmon. He was the card I drew for the turn, so it was finally the answer I needed to deal with both the Machinedramon and the Mechanorimon at the same time, which is really nice. It's a shame I couldn't get any attacks in beforehand with that Mechanorimon there, but I was more than happy to just play it, pass him to 5, or pass him to 3, and go from there. I still have 2 security left, so I'm not in an unsafe position. I don't think there's any way. Well, I guess there is technically a way he could win with March of the Heavy Metal Machines again, and playing another Machinedramon with Blitz after attacking with 2 guys, but I don't think he had that. So he decides to just go up into Chaosdramon, add a guy to the bottom here. He's going to actually use his Chaosdramon to trade into my Dexmon. He gets plus 3k, so he's at 15k himself, and he can attack unsuspended. He's just mulling over if that's the best play or not, but at this point he doesn't really have many other options. And because I believe he still has piercing, so he will still get a check from this as well. I don't think he gets both my security on this turn, however. I think something happens that ends up destroying the Biomon, but I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly how this goes, because I know he's deciding if this is the right move or not. He's going to end up deciding to just crash into Dexmon, which is definitely the right call. You don't want to leave Dexmon on the board. I mean, his stack is definitely more valuable than my Dexmon, really, but he's got the security advantage right now, and I have nothing on the board and nothing in raising. So it definitely hurts me more than him. So yeah, we're trading here. And I wasn't aware of the inheritable on the one Metal Greymon he was running, so I was asking him how he had plus 3k, and he showed me. I haven't seen that Metal Greymon run, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I think he's running it this way because we have a lot of D-Reaper players in our local. So, okay, he does go in with Biomon. He must not have had piercing before with Chaosdramon. Now, I'm wondering exactly what happened there. Oh, it didn't pierce because he traded. That's right. That's why it wouldn't pierce. He would have to live for piercing to go off. Okay. I'm trying to think if maybe we made a mistake there, but no. He just traded. So at this point, I popped my memory boost. I'm going to play Darkdramon, essentially for 3. Put all the Commandramons back on top of my deck. 5 of them. Going to use Darkdramon to take out Biomon, because I can't be letting him just chip me. And I'm going to play Commandramon for 4, setting him to 3. So now he's got an empty board, and I've got 3 guys ready to go. So I'm at a security disadvantage, but as far as board state goes, I'm back in the driver's seat. So let's see if I can hold this advantage. He's going to Congo me, which is great. So all my Commandramons can't attack. And at this point, I'm starting to run low on cards in hand. So I'm risking kind of just running out of gas here. because I'm hard playing a lot of these Commandramons. I'm not really cycling through my deck. He ends up passing me to 2 to play another Kazu. I'm going to draw for my turn. Go up to 3 because of Kazu. I'm going to promote the Commandramon just to free up my raising area. I know I can't attack with him. Kind of seeing what's going on in my trash there. At this point, I had 3 Commandramons in my trash. So, and I have a Darkdramon in my hand. I'm trying to figure out how to get my other Darkdramon on board without passing turn. I end up getting kind of lucky, as you'll see here in a second. Kind of deciding what I want to do, figuring out how I'm going to kind of play this. So I'm going to attack with the Darkdramon because he can attack through Congo. That'll go off. It ends up being a Chaos Dramon, and I tap the Kazu as well. Using the Kazu to ditch the Commandramon to draw a card. Normally it's draw then trash, but I trashed before I drew. And then the Darkdramon dies. So I got really lucky there, getting the Commandramon and the Darkdramon into my trash. I was able to play another Darkdramon without passing turn, putting the Darkdramon and 4 Commandramons on top of my deck. And I believe I put Darkdramon as the topmost card, so I'm just going to start recycling them. Attack with Darkdramon again, and this time he lives, so that's pretty nice. I ended up getting, 2 security on a Congo turn, which is pretty nice. So I'll just play out another Commandramon, set him to his 3. He doesn't have anything in raising, so I don't have to worry about the Kazus, but I wanted to keep building my board. I'm not worried about Dexmon at this point, even though I probably should be. He's going to Congo me again, which stinks, but it's definitely helping him out here. He's going to play another Machinedramon. So it's going to delete one of my Commandramons. It ends up being the blocker and the 1K. So luckily that one lets me play another Commandramon. I'm deciding now to play out the blocker, even though I really wanted to go after the other one. Just in case anything funky happened, I wanted to have a blocker on board that could kind of throw himself in front of something. Now I'm kind of in the place where I was before, searching for stuff, trying to find a way to end this game here. I was given a lot of memory though, so it makes my life a little bit easier. I could get rid of a Commandramon, draw. I do have Darkdramon in my hand because I drew him for the turn. He ends up taking out my blocker. So I'm thinking about how to not throw this game at this point. Play another Commandramon for 3. Or that's a 2-cost one, actually. And then I'm just going to Congo in myself. I don't know why I didn't... Oh yeah, that's right, I was Congoed again. That's why I didn't swing with the other Commandramon. So the Darkdramon went in, and then I lost my blocker. So I'm still just setting up my board state. Luckily, I had Congo in my hand, and Machinedramon is a 7-cost card, so he can't attack me, which is really nice. He passes me to 3. He Iron Fist Onslaught my Darkdramon. And at this point, he's kind of just hoping on a miracle, because now I could just promote and attack out. So I'll attack with Commandramon. It'll be Hagurumon. He'll live. I'll attack with my other Commandramon, Analog Youth, and then I can finish the game. So I was able to battle back through a Machinedramon and a Machinedramon this game, which was awesome. Dexmon was definitely the MVP of this match. Not much to be said about that. He got me out of all the tight spots. and he's a threat that has to be dealt with. Seeing him is always great, especially against opponents that want to go wide. Can't really complain. I mean, the deck's been running fantastic. I mean, to get through something like Machinedramon, which naturally has like the worst, uh, like the most things that D-Brigade would be weak against. It's got big blockers. It's got Machinedramon, Congo. It's really a rough time. I don't know if he's going to continue on trying to make the red base work. I keep trying to maybe push the blue base, maybe check it out, or even just go with the black base. But I know Machinedramon's getting a lot more support, so that deck's going to open wide up for him. But yeah, this has been the game. Machinedramon versus D-Brigade. We did play another game after this. It ended up being Ulforce Veedramon versus Beelzemon. I'm probably going to do a video for that game as well, so look forward to that. Should come out probably a little later this week. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the game. This has been the Backwoods Geek, and look forward to future videos. Have a good one, everybody.